All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the What We Live For show, where we give creative minds an opportunity to be seen, heard, and understood. My name is Enigma Cruz, and I am here with
River Cutler.
I am Doc Peapod Furtado.
And today we have an awesome guest. We have our first painter and visual artist. Her name is Sweet Colene. Please welcome Sweet Colene. Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We're excited to have you. We've never had an artist here before, or a painter, visual artist.
How dare you say that?
How dare you say that? So, I mean, what is it that made you start painting? Because we have these beautiful pieces behind us. This is the first time we've seen these, and they're amazing.
I get asked that a lot, actually. And what I always say is, do you remember finger painting in kindergarten?
Vaguely. I think I blocked that memory.
Okay, all right. Well, I never stopped.
I think so.
I've been painting since then. I've always known that I wanted to be an artist, and I've fought every battle known to man to get here. And I'm still fighting, but enjoying the ride along the way.
Cool.
Wow, that's
Excellent.
awesome. Do you paint more with those are done with brushes or?
Yeah, no, I'm not a finger painter.
I'm like, damn, that's
In case
good.
you can't tell, him and I know nothing about that.
Yeah, I'm horrible when it comes to painting or drawing, things like that. We're musicians, so it's great that we're gonna ask a bunch of questions that might seem a little dumb to you. Or
I can handle a pencil, but that's about it. One shade, that's it.
So you were like in pre-K or something when you started, when you discovered that you loved this?
Yeah, it was the best form of expression that I could find, personally. I love music. I love to listen to it. I love to dance to it. Can I make it? On a rusty-ass saw blade, yeah. But other than that, not really.
Do you play anything or no?
A rusty-ass saw blade. It's called a singing saw.
She's got one. About to pop it out in a second.
No, that's legitimately, I actually play that. I learned how to play it in the mountains in California, and you bend it into an S pattern, and then you strike it with a bow back and forth. And it depends how you control the pitch with how far you bend it. So it's that eerie...
Oh, okay.
Halloween-looking, sounding.
What is
cool.
What is the bow made of?
Typically horsehair.
Really?
Wow. Any
a
standard
violin.
bow.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like a steel cable or something.
How did you get into that? That's such a...
I was surrounded by musicians. Creative people. It doesn't matter if you're a painter or if you're a musician or if you're a writer. You're going to gravitate towards one another.
Yeah.
And it's that higher form of expression, that higher form of communication that we're doing right now that kind of echoes beyond. And so I was surrounded by musicians and I wanted to play. I wanted to play with them. So I found a rusty ass saw blade and figured out on YouTube, you can learn anything on YouTube, figured out how to play it. And I was telling my friends that the best experience I had with that was when I was actually playing the saw blade on the porch in the mountains in a lonely November night. And I heard wolves howling back. What? So it was, like I said, that higher level gravitates to you and just pulls to you. And the more you put that out in the universe, the more you become it.
Man, I need to move. Where are you from?
What part of California?
Mendocino area, up in the mountains.
Oh, okay.
The mountain that we work on is called 5 because it's 5,000 feet in the air. And it's a hike and it's beautiful. And you're camping for 6 months and you're eating, you grow your own food, you're eating organically, you're hiking, you have to scavenge for water, you have to watch out for wildfires, and it's just that rugged lifestyle that really brings
You're
about.
out there then, huh?
Yeah, it makes you dig deep, a lot of the best albums were written in cabins in Vermont somewhere, a month long.
I was going to say, the way you're describing it seems like it really lends itself to what it is that you do. The inspiration, it seems like it flowed from various places easily, right?
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that
Absolutely.
was the case?
It's not me creating this, it's the environment around me. I'm nothing but an amplifier for that creativity that's going through all of us. You just have to be able to pick it up and throw it back.
So you were telling me a lot of your art, you were telling me previous conversation, obviously, a lot of your art is inspired by things that have actually happened to you. When the fires are happening, you created art you created art about the fires, correct?
Absolutely. I had a big part in the Mendocino complex fires and the recent car fire in Paradise, meaning I rented a car, drove up the mountain, and it was burning on either side of the mountain. I would stop and take pictures. We helped save farms. We helped save animals. We helped save people that were living up there that didn't have communication with the world. You don't have service, so you don't know what's going on. You have no idea there's a fire coming. And if the winds are going against you, you'll never see it coming. So we had to race up the mountain, save a bunch of people. I got my full deposit back on the rental car.
Excellent.
They never
was
knew, but I
good.
literally was driving through fire. The roads were literally crumbling on either side. There's cliffs here, there's burning tree stumps here. And the most dangerous thing about it is not necessarily the burning trees falling or the ash just raining on top of you, but it's the roots underground that burn. And you can literally like step on a patch and fall like 3 feet into the ground. Just
because there's always
Wow.
voids.
burning. Yeah.
Yeah, from where all
yeah.
the tree
Yeah.
Used to be, yeah.
underground.
So what I did is I took a bunch of pictures. I have these vivid memories of it, and I create art from it. And then, like I was saying earlier, the proceeds from that go back to the Cal Fire because they're like, I got a thing for heroes, and they were absolutely heroes, and I just want to keep giving back and keep being like, yo, I can make this. Here, take it. You know, like.
Hell yeah.
That's amazing that you did that. That's
Wow, yeah.
that's one of those things that you can always, a story to tell for years to come.
Absolutely.
Now, that type of thing, that there's a severity to that type of situation, but I can't imagine that you must have stopped and kind of admired, I guess, the intensity and the power that you were surrounded by when you saw those fires around you.
Humbled. Absolutely humbled
Yeah.
to what we really are and what can happen. And like, so many people lost their homes and their
Yeah.
families. And you know what? In like the Paradise area and surrounding Chico area, after the fires happened, I was in Chico with the cleanup and everything. And I noticed that everybody had these beautiful classic cars and like RVs and stuff. And when it came down to their homes burning, they saved their babies. They saved their project cars that they
get
were
it.
working on. Yeah, you
get
know,
it.
Yeah.
they
Right.
saved their creative outlet. That was most important to them with their families and their choice belongings and whatnot. But it was really interesting to see like how an entire community will sit back and decide like, okay, this is my love. Save this.
That's awesome. Because it's like at the root, I always say this, at the root of it, we're all creators. Like, I don't believe in a God, but I believe that we are gods in our own right because we're constantly creating. We love to create. So it's like for you to say that, that they saved their creations, that's what they went for first. Like, that goes back to what we really are. I mean, in a sense, don't you think?
Absolutely.
That's awesome. So, I mean, going back to, you said that growing up, you always struggled to keep being an artist and keep painting. What were some of those struggles that you went through?
Well, I would typically get a really good office job and get promoted very quickly and be absolutely bored out of my mind.
Yeah.
And I would go home and I would walk my dog and then I would paint until 3 a.m. and then wake up and go and do this like monotonous job all over again that I really didn't like. So that was one main struggle. Another struggle is just kind of being this type of person where I'm not like, fuck it, but I'm also like a little bit, not restless. It's hard to describe. Like, I kind of don't care what the consequences are because I already own them. I'm already standing up for this. If I fall down, I'm going to stand up again. And like, that's been a struggle for me just to accept that and to really, really promote that because I see people that have these talents and would rather be the senseless drone doing what they have to do to make that paycheck to own that house that they don't even like the upkeep on.
Right.
You
yeah.
know, I'm in
I
love
think
with
about that all the time.
sunsets. Yeah.
That always blows me away. Like some people just like they can do something, but they won't let themselves because they feel like they need to be told what to do or how to do something. I mean, they can't use their own
I'm just always
creativity
surprised
and
at like
stuff.
the percentage, It's probably like 80% of people like that?
Most
The
people,
majority.
I don't know, but
Sure.
there,
Most
yeah.
people.
I don't know, but there's also a lot of people that do go out of their way just to create and do what they can. I think it's a lot more so in our generation. I think previous generations, or at least I don't know. That's what I
Yeah,
see
I
on
think so
my
too.
Facebook feed.
Yeah.
But those are most of the people I'm friends with. So.
No, yeah, I think so too. I think it's shifting that way for sure.
I think the thing with that is that people want to uphold like this image, or they care what other people think about them,
Well, that's another
what they
thing too,
have,
yeah.
and so it's like, oh look, I have a house. Oh look, I have a car. Oh, I'm doing well for myself, But inside, it's like this emptiness that you're always going to be, trying to fill with more things. And all you have to do is really create or just listen to whatever it is that you're passionate about and go do that, Go do that because that's what you have to offer. Everyone has something, something to offer the world, and you just got to listen to that. I think. I mean, and it seems like that's what you're doing. Like there was a point where you said, "Fuck this, I can't do this office shit anymore. I'm gonna go listen to what it is that I love."
Yeah.
So that transition, I'm sure, was hard. It was difficult. Like, one, what made you do it, and like, what was that transition like?
Morals made me do it. I worked for an art company in St. Pete that was doing something I didn't agree with morally. And I put my foot down and I'm like, if you don't change this, then I quit. And they didn't change it, so I quit. And from that day on, I was my own professional artist, and I owned a house at that time through my zombie jobs that I did really good at.
I like your zombie.
That's how I got promoted.
Nice.
So,
Perfect. That's what we want.
She's in.
She'll just do whatever we tell.
but the way the big transition happened, the way that I am who I am right now is I sold my house. I sold everything I owned. I packed up my animals and I headed out west. And I started working on marijuana farms and growing and taking care of babies and learning. And it changed my life to the fact that I don't think I'll ever be the same. I can never go back to that. Like,
Wow.
I'm in love with Northern California and I'm in love with Florida and I want to be both places. So I came up with this grand scheme to be not a snowbird. It's more of what I like to call a phoenix because of the wildfires, and just fly back and forth. Half the time here, half the time there. So like I said, living organically, camping, just roughing it out and fighting bears. I'm actually still looking for a custom-made whip to scare them off with the sound. And
I thought you said I'm actually looking for a bear, like to go for.
no, they're all over the place up there. So do that half the year, and then the other half of the year come back and create and express and do awesome art shows like we're going to have, be part of the community, and just stand up, and be seen.
That's amazing. That's awesome. So we have an art show the 19th?
On the 19th, yeah.
You're going to be a part of that.
I'm so excited.
Are you painting live, or how do art shows typically work? I don't think I've ever really. Maybe I've been to one, but what's the premise of?
Kind of varies, on whatever art show. I mean, some art shows you go there and it's exclusively, a specific theme of kind of art. Our art show is not necessarily going to be like that. It's going to be a lot more relaxed. There's definitely going to be live painting. I'm sure she's going to paint stuff live. But
I want to be there because I want to see the process.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's kind of sporadic.
With the process?
Absolutely, yeah.
Good.
I would expect art to be no other way.
So pick one of those paintings and kind of walk us through, like, what was that experience like?
Okay, so I'll go with the smaller one on the table over there.
On the right?
On the right. It's coming up. And this painting
Being
is
brought over
actually done from a picture that I took staring at the Mendocino complex fires.
Right here or something.
Nothing spills on it.
And so, all right, so this is my viewpoint of where I was standing looking at the fire beginning to burn. And it was just such an overwhelming experience. That flame spread the entire length of the canvas, wrapped completely around to where I was standing, and burnt everything. And it's a natural process in California. The wildfires actually help the environment if they're not man-made. And, if it's not...
It started like prematurely or whatever.
Yeah, if it's not human error, then it could benefit. But there was still so many lives lost. And it impacted me so much that I actually started exhibiting this artwork and as exactly what it was. I have pieces that kind of tell the story a little bit deeper because I had the, ground level point of view. I saw what was going on. I helped people get out. And just the intensity of that moment is the only thing I'm trying to capture in that image.
So this particular one, is this like kind of from like a visual that you had in your head, or did you take a picture, or like when did this particular painting start? Like how did it
Definitely a picture.
manifest?
I
It
was
a
there.
picture?
Yeah. Like I'm standing on the edge of a dock looking over it right there.
Wow.
And that's Clear Lake up in Northern California. I have friends that live there, like we were practically in their backyard looking at that, and the sky just like boomed over top of you. It went on for miles and miles and miles, and there was such a clear break between the smoke and the ash and the actual sunset going on.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It's wild. You know, and one of the things that actually drew me to your artwork in the first place is I saw, you know, obviously the style's awesome, but that you did pieces on the fires in California. I thought that was so cool that, you know, as an artist, you were kind of commenting on current events or, you know, sharing your experience of things that are happening. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know a lot of artists, and I don't see a lot of that happen, unfortunately, you know? So I thought it was really cool that when I saw you doing that in art, and I was like, oh, fuck, that's so cool. Like, it's neat to see somebody commenting on things that are happening and, you know, showing their perspective on something that's happening right, you know, now or had just happened, you know, in the world. You know, not just drawing things from painting things from their imagination, you know, and just kind of scenes here and there. I mean, that's something that actually.
And the best thing about it is that she lived.
She was there. Yeah,
you were
that's
there.
what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was so cool.
Like some people can make like a political statement on an art piece, or a musician can write a political piece, but maybe they aren't necessarily living it, or they're coming from like an outside point of view. But you were there, like you're actually experiencing this, so it's that much more. You can tell that.
Yeah, it speaks louder.
Yeah, it speaks louder. Exactly. Yeah.
Way cool.
It's very cool. That's awesome.
I love how you did the water too.
Yeah, that's one of my
sweet.
signature moves right there. And like I said, all of that orange is blacklight reactive. So under blacklight, just the way those blues are layered against each other, it has like a movement to it. To me, it has.
I have a black light
to
too. We should at some point we'll get a shot after this.
Yeah.
I want to light this up with black. We'll insert it here. So for future reference.
Right.
That is so cool.
Sweet. Now, do you do all? Sorry, I didn't mean. Do you do all of your paintings in blacklight reactive paint, or just?
If I
sporadic,
could,
if you can?
If I could, I would. But
Okay.
a lot of colors aren't available in blacklight. If
Right.
you're going to stick to like the neon colors, there's I don't know of any earthy color that is blacklight
So,
reactive.
like for this one, you said because of the way it's layered, like the way that the paint's layered. So do you know ahead of time? Like have you worked with that kind of paint enough where?
Oh, I've
you
worked
can-
with that paint a lot.
Yeah. So that's cool then, because then you can like you said, like you layer it a certain way, so that way when the black light hits it or whatever, then it could look completely different than what it looks now. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of like
pretty
a
cool.
trick of light, a little dance on the canvas.
How do you personally feel about your art? Like
I
once
don't-
it's done and it's like you look at it,
You hate
what
it.
is your yeah? Because I mean, sometimes as a musician, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, as a musician, I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I don't know if I like this song. Somebody else can tell me it's amazing, but I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Could have done this better. I
yeah,
couldn't quite do
Spend a
this
month on
lead,
this.
so I did the best I could.
yeah, exactly.
Well, let me ask you a question. As a musician,
Sure.
are your songs ever finished?
That's a tough question.
For Chris, no. I've heard him say that before.
No, it's
Well, see, but then again, that's
Yeah.
why music's great though, because like when we play live, we can play it however we want that night. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, it's always different variants
that's why-
of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Put it this way: it's never done. It's only finished when it's shared with the public, because at that point it's not yours anymore, right?
I gotcha.
But even just then, though, you're saying like when you're playing live, you know, you'll do an ending different, or maybe you'll rip a different lead that's slightly in the same.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I think that's kind of what he was just saying. So it's kind of always as long as you're alive, it's kind of always evolving.
It's always
But as far as a finished piece of work,
yeah. My brain is more OCD, so I'm like, I like structure.
do it
and I
the
look at
same every
something.
time.
It's just like, okay, I can see where it's going, right? I see the structure of where it's, it's going to go, and it flows a certain way and it tells a certain story from beginning to end. And so once I've told that, yeah, we can play it different ways and interpret it a bunch of different ways, but I always know what the core of it
Yeah,
was.
what it's supposed to. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you
but
got a
yeah, when
foundation,
it's
but-
finished, never finished. I'm never satisfied. Is that how you feel about your art?
Well, I have a confession to make. I did drop one of them on the way in here, and I picked it up and kept walking. Once it's done, it's done. And I agree, it's everybody else's at that point, and
Yeah.
I am just so like chaotic and just feisty that I'm like, "Rawr," and just like pick it up and just like keep going,
That's good. So you detach yourself, like once it's
Yeah, I give it away at that point. I give it away. Yeah.
That's good.
Kind of how I feel about art, and you're like once you've put that thought or that feeling or whatever it is onto, I mean, even with music, once you put it in something and can call it done or as close to done as you're going to be able to get it, and it goes on its way. It's like that part you don't have to worry about it because like whatever emotion or feeling you were trying to convey is now in that piece of art, whether it's musical or a painting or whatever, because now it's on its own and you got it out of you, and it exists by itself. So
I've always loved art in this sense because like you can always you can look at it, you can always, I don't know, music, you can listen to it and it, maybe it'll give you a different feeling at some point, but I don't know, I think we're visual creatures more than anything, to be honest. I don't know. Do you think we're visual creatures?
I think
or
it's
more
interesting that you're a musician and you're saying that because
I know, right?
That's what I was thinking.
I don't feel the same way.
I feel like I'm like, even though I can't draw to save my fucking life, I don't know. I feel like I'm more visual than anything.
Well, let me ask you another question. If you were standing,
only too allowed, by the way.
Okay.
You've reached your limit.
Starting from this way. If you were standing on one side of the mountain and you heard a mountain lion call on the other side of the mountain without seeing it, would you hear it?
Would I hear it?
Yeah, I mean, like if you heard something in the distance that you couldn't see, you still heard it.
Yes.
We are audible creatures as well.
But okay, so the impact though, like if I were to see the creature versus hear it, which one would impact me more?
If you see it,
Is
you're
it
obviously
night?
a lot closer.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I were to see the damn thing, I'm like, that's striking. I don't know. There's something about it.
I don't know though, but what about when you're driving your car and all of a sudden you start hearing stuff and you know your car shouldn't be making that noise?
True.
You can't see.
I feel like maybe like audibly is that, I don't know. It's
Sure,
audible,
we'll take
right?
it.
Audibly, not vocal. I don't want to use the word vocally because it's not vocals, but like any kind of sounds or anything like that. I feel like that maybe impacts like your subconscious maybe a little bit more. And then because you're looking at that, it's very physical. You're like, okay, like that's there, like that's.
Oh, so you take it out like surface value type of thing.
Whatever 3D brain, you know what I mean? Could fucking see that.
I can see.
I could see that.
And it's there, and I get that, but
I could see that.
like I feel like the movie last night that we were watching. We saw the movie Us last night, which
How
was
was
like
it?
it was
pretty
good.
good.
It was good. And there was one of those kind of like horror-y type movies, like thrillers, where I mean, like it wouldn't be the same without the score that was behind it,
Right.
You know? Like you have to have like a good like audible
That's
track.
true because if the
You know what I
mountain
mean?
lion roared, right? And
But
I saw
so
it
that's
at
like
the
kind
same
of like the
time.
subconscious part of it.
That would be more impactful.
Well, it's like what I think of is like when there's times where I hear music and I get goosebumps and my hair stands on end.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I can relate that like visually that I've seen, maybe the Grand Canyon, and that one time I was on mushrooms watching the sunset. I mean, like, there's only so many other things that I can compare, like the feeling that I get when like a certain song comes on. I get goosebumps like that, where it's just like I really feel it in my being, So I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a very visual person, but like
Something about
I don't know, something about
hearing
sound
something.
For me. I don't know. It just strikes me the right way, I guess.
that's cool. That's interesting.
It's cool that everybody has a different feel about that, and I'm really surprised that as a musician, you're more about
like I'm when it comes to sounds and stuff. Like I can pick things up really quick.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something about seeing something.
How interesting.
It's because I can't do it. I think
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe that's what it is. I'm
Alright.
like, I can't do it. How did you do it? Like, how the fuck did you do it? Like that's how long have you been doing this, by the way?
Since in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't know your age. I don't know. This is the first time.
It's not
we're
polite
meeting,
to ask.
so- we're all humans, so we're all gonna die someday.
My entire life. Professionally, a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah. Exhibiting wise, like as an amateur, about a decade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So were you originally in Florida first and then moved to California and then back, or what you were?
I was born in the north. I was raised in the south. I lived in the east. I ran out west, came back out east, and I'm about to go out west.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been all over the place. Yeah, pretty much.
Man, that needs to be in a book. That should be the first paragraph of a book.
Yeah, that was never a really good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Shit, I've never heard anyone describe where they're from. That
Or
way.
I could have just said Pennsylvania.
Don't ruin it.
Born in Pennsylvania.
That is so cool. So, I mean, do you have any other art shows coming up or?
Yeah, I do. I have Cana karaoke coming up. You have to actually RSVP for it online. And
Where is that?
It's going to be up this way somewhere. They dropped the location.
Okay. So it's painting and karaoke? Or?
It's a festival of marijuana, vendors
I'm in
and
there.
bringing in the flower vendors and the actual pre-rolls. And I'll be live painting there. Something,
that's awesome.
Yeah, cannabis.
Give me the
infused.
details like after we're done here.
I
wanna
will,
go.
yeah.
Somewhere in Florida, though, I assume.
Yeah, around Hudson area.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why you got to RSVP online. They got to vet you, I guess.
I got you. Okay.
You can just say you're with me too, and that might help you get
Yes, Sweet Colene, yeah.
So, Colleen, you were telling me the other day, speaking of the marijuana, that a piece that you're going to be doing is going to be in a very, very big festival. Why don't you tell us about that? That's really exciting.
Okay, it comes back to the magazine first. There's this magazine out of Sarasota. It's called High Life, and they did a piece on me 3 years ago when I was exhibiting in all over St. Pete and all the galleries and all the little pop-up shows and stuff like that. And I exhibited Blowing Trees. That's the name of the painting. And what it is it's like a seascape with palm trees, but instead of palm leaves, it has 2 pot leaves on it, actually 3. And so I got that into a really upscale gallery. And the opening night, the owner comes over and he's like, "What did you do?" And I'm like, "What do you mean, what did I do?" And he's like, "You have marijuana on my wall." And I was just like, "I have art on your wall, bro."
He was like, for real? Like he was...
Yeah, he was really upset about it. And what had happened is the employees had picked it up because the name of it was Blowing Trees. The price of it was $4.20. And it had big old pot leaves all over it.
No, I got to price it.
Pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, I thought it was hilarious. So
great.
that story actually got out. And so I was the first artist in St. Pete to actually professionally exhibit marijuana-themed fine art.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
How long ago was that?
And that was about 3 years ago. And then that's what got me into...
3 years.
Right? Yeah, but this is Florida. Florida's a little bit slower than California.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
I keep...
I'm not from Massachusetts, New England.
I remember a short bus and everything. Wait, what?
You said what?
What? Something about a short bus? Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So that's how I got into High Life magazine. Is the owner of the magazine heard about the story? He found me on Facebook. He's like, "You're an interesting person," and they did this whole story on me. Now that I've been out to California, and deep in the scene out there, just learning about medicine, learning about a vegetable, something that's really, really beneficial to us. I strongly believe in it. I'm a huge supporter, and I'm not a fuck off, I'm an eccentric, crazy person, but I'm a very, very nice person. And I'm fairly intelligent. I'm not going to hurt anybody. So, I feel like I'm fighting the good fight, honestly. I have no shame, no regret, nothing like this. And I stand next to people who feel the same way, and we're just coming up together. So, the owner of the magazine is actually going to have a gallery booth at Art Basel this year. And he commissioned a painting from me to be in that gallery.
That's amazing.
So
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
That's gonna be cool.
I'm going to make it like Blowing
cool.
Trees.
Yes. Are you guys familiar with Art Basel?
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh man.
It sounds like a gallery in downtown St. Pete or something.
No,
right?
it's in Miami. It's one of the largest art shows in the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
It happens in Miami, Basel, Switzerland, and I think somewhere else.
Is that where it originated?
In Basel, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where, in Switzerland. So that's for any artist to get, it's there's a lot of artists, but for any artist to get into that, that's a really big deal.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Really awesome.
Awesome.
It's the power of storytelling. Someone heard your story, and all of a sudden you went from here to doing one of the biggest things you've probably ever done in terms of your artistic career.
Absolutely, it's a pinnacle for me to be able to do that.
Awesome. From somebody that's art in the wall, bro. To go, that's fucking great, right? That's awesome. That is so. And when is that happening?
That's December, right?
Yeah, December 7th or 8th or something like that. It's a weekend. It's totally worth going if you've never been. It's experience a huge convention
Have you
center.
been to it?
Yeah, I've been a bunch of times.
Dude,
I used to
awesome.
go with the artists that I was working with for a long time. And it's definitely experience between the art that's there to just the people. And then, of course, you're in, Miami, South Beach, and that's an experience in itself. So, especially with all those crazy people. And what's cool, the coolest thing I think about Art Basel is that it's not just in the convention center. There's art literally set up all over South Beach in Miami, like all up and down different beaches. There's public art, I mean, it's lit in all the, hotels and like any swath of grass that has open, there's sculptures. I mean, it's really the whole city, like kind of, puts it on. And
That's amazing.
It's really an experience.
That's cool.
So yeah, we normally take the bus down there. So you guys want to go?
No, that sounds great.
It's definitely
the bus.
Yeah, the bus.
Not just like a commuter bus.
Yeah, last time we were there, we found a group, like an artist collective that had a warehouse, and they let us park our bus in their little compound, so we didn't have to worry about anything getting stolen or anything. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. And then now I have a whole bunch of people that we could go down there and hang out with, like a whole another artist collective. So
that's awesome.
And I can introduce you to them when we go down, because they're like super.
That's
cool.
funny, yeah, because like I don't know anything of that like kind of like world side of things. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
so
it's
just
awesome.
like cool to hear stuff.
But it's crazy how like Easy would probably fit in, because it's like all creative individuals.
Yeah.
Like they're so
of course,
welcoming to each other, and like we talk,
like
we
that,
speak the lingo kind of thing. We understand each other.
Well, that's one of the things I want to do with this art show for here, is kind of turn this place into like, just to create, just general, like creative person, outlet, create art, be able to create music. I mean, you see all the art on the walls. Obviously, I appreciate art. But I'd like to make this place, just all about art, whatever it is, so there's not enough places like that. I mean, I wish it was in a better location, but, whatever.
People will gravitate to
Exactly.
each other. I mean, like how do you two know each other?
Facebook.
Facebook, okay.
Yeah, that's what
I think I sent her a friend request. Yeah, because she looked like she did art. I had people all over the country. I don't know what to say. Like I like art, and she did art, and
so you saw like randomly one of her paintings, or
I think that's how it happened.
Yeah, I came back from California.
And then she happened to say that she was. Then she said on a post that she was in Florida, and I don't. What happened after that? I can go.
You bought a painting.
No, yeah. Well, no, I mean, how I don't. Yeah. I saw your post. And you're getting rid of art. You're not getting rid of, but selling art in Florida. I was like, oh, cool. This person that said that initially they were in California is now in Florida. I want to buy some of her art. After I looked through it, I was like, holy shit. And then I bought. Insert this piece here. That piece over there, which I was like totally stoked about. And then she came up here and hand delivered it to me, which she's doing with all her pieces.
Wow.
That's
right now. They're all
cool.
for sale. So,
do you have anything online, or do you prefer to do everything very personal?
you have pictures of all your art.
Oh yeah, like I
Like prints?
I should pull up this.
Yeah.
We can cycle through some of them.
Yeah, Facebook, Instagram, and then Fine Art America pretty much is what I go off of. I did the whole Etsy thing, but
You prefer not to go that route?
I forgot to mail something one time.
Oh, actually, no, I don't know. I can't say anything bad about Etsy. I don't know. For some reason in my mind, I'm like, Etsy would be more of like a copy and paste mainstream type of thing.
And you have to pay per post, though.
Right. Yeah.
And I have hundreds of work. I have almost 1,000 paintings. So, like,
Oh, wow.
I can't.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not like you're doing like T-shirts or something like.
Not yet.
Like, it's gonna sell 10,000 of these T-shirts, and like just one post for that thing.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll just like cycle through these.
I thought that was like really big for a second.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Well, it looks really...
There it
that's
is.
the one that I bought.
Oh, that's a video.
Yeah. What did you do with the videos? Like you just.
I got in trouble because the music playing on the background in the storage unit, like almost all of them were flagged.
Yeah.
And it was just the music like being piped through the background.
Way to go,
Yeah.
Facebook.
I really like.
Facebook
YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, right?
Yeah, YouTube
I heard
got
that YouTube is like really
Oh, that
intense
is
right now.
dope.
Dude,
It's
it
so
was
funny.
between when I was looking at them between that
Whoa.
one and this one.
Yeah.
And
I like
I
that
like this
one.
one a lot. You just sold that one.
I
too,
sold
didn't
that
you?
one, yeah.
Yeah.
All the good ones you're selling. How dare you?
That's what happens. You make good art, man.
And I
That's
have
cool.
art all over
That's super
Florida. I
cool.
still
That
have to
reminds
go
me of
pick
those
some up.
those rocks that like you break in half.
The
Oh,
geode.
geode, yeah.
Geodes,
Yeah.
It's alcohol ink. Or not alcohol ink, alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
Oh, over the paint.
like rubbing alcohol.
Oh, okay.
That's cool. Yeah, I can't make people that good.
I saw her. That's what's creepy about that
What?
painting. I was at OBJ and I was just like painting, live painting by my tent, you know? And this chick walks up and I'm just like, she had dreads and everything. Like,
Oh, snap. Like the person that you
Yeah.
were painting just
yes,
walked up to you?
Yes, and I was on drugs,
Wait.
but it wasn't because of the drugs.
I would have been like, nope, I need to take a break.
No, what would happen?
Wait, so
I
you
was,
started painting.
I was there. I
You
was
were
almost
already
done.
there.
Yeah, and then she walks up
You'd
just like
never
that.
seen this
Like
chick before.
never saw her in my life, and she wasn't blue in person
wild.
either. But, and then I
I was
showed
going
her.
to
I
say
was
that would
like,
have been too crazy.
yeah, I was like, come here, come look at this. And I showed her the painting. And I scared the living daylights out of her. Yeah, and I was like, oh no. And she like ran away. I'm like, no, I want to give it to you. Wait,
Come back.
So if you're this chick anywhere, if you see this, like I want to give you this painting. You're an angel. Okay.
That's it. Do you have like a clairvoyance about you? Like, would you describe
Festival
something?
girl, I love that.
Festival girl.
That's great.
Not really. Like
No?
I consider myself fairly deep and empathetic to just anything in the world, but it's more serendipitous than intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manatees.
Oh,
Music.
dude.
Cool. I like the light streaks.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Creates depth.
Yeah.
I think so. I don't know. I'm no kind of an artist. I don't know.
Yeah, I had this massive photo shoot at the storage unit where they all are.
Is that usually where you paint at a storage unit?
Oh no, I
I
just
think
store
that's just
them.
where she's stored.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I'm in California.
She was. Why don't you tell us about your how you paint and your primitive campsite? I don't know if we really talked about that.
No,
That was cool.
What's really bad is like, all right, I'm a master camper. I love camping. I can go camping forever and be totally fine with it. And I learn each time I go camping. But one of the things that when I was talking about that earlier, I didn't tell you is that the first thing I always set up is my art tent. I have to get like all my paints, I have to get all my brushes, all my wind chimes,
Priorities,
like tapestries.
Hey, you
and stuff.
gotta set it up all right. You know?
Yeah, and once that like beating heart is set up, then I'll pinch.
Nice.
Then I'll set that up.
Art more important than having my own place to
Yeah.
sleep. Feels.
But yeah, like I literally will take a canvas. I have collapsible easels. I have a backpack, and I'll just go hiking. And paint wherever
Just
I
with
want.
enough stuff that you need and just set up anywhere.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what happened with this, or is this
Yeah,
a
that
picture?
was my birthday. That's Otter Springs, and every year for my birthday, before I started going camping all the time, I used to go camping, and it would be me and my dog, and we would just go to a different place every time, and he was literally laying by me the entire time I painted that.
Aw.
And that was just the view that we had. Yeah.
I love how this looks like sound waves.
Yeah,
Oh,
it kind
yeah,
of does.
yeah,
Look
you're
at that.
right. Yeah.
That
Oh, that's
happens
cool.
a lot. Yeah.
I almost like the music. Wow.
It's kind of creepy.
That's cool. That's like one of the like a storm rolling in.
No, that one's
Oh,
like
okay.
an over of edit thing.
That's kind of like the one. Yeah. Oh no, they're different.
Yeah. Rainy day at the beach. And I have a couple
Yeah.
of paintings that I actually did in the rain when I was live painting. And
Really?
it started raining on me. And I love the effect that it made, though.
Yeah, I bet it was interesting.
very,
Do
very
you have any
cool.
pictures of those on here?
Probably not in this set since.
Not on this.
Yeah, these are all the ones that I have up for sale.
Yeah. I love them. Was that just playing?
No, okay. So
Okay, I was
this,
gonna say like.
this is after that happened. See, like my tablet down there.
Oh, okay.
So I had to like play over it, and that's
okay.
like my phone's stock audio.
Excellent.
I could
Yeah,
take
the
action,
free no licenses
Yeah,
required.
royalty
Yes.
free.
Action, sad, or happy. Like, pretty much
Those
it.
are my options.
This one,
Oh, that's
dance tree
cool.
party.
Oh, look at that.
Imagine.
My mom used to
I was
always,
just about to say my mom would love that.
right? Yeah, my mom would love it. She always used to tell me of these hippies that lived in the trees in California, so they couldn't chop the redwoods down. And that's when I saw it. That's totally what reminded me of that.
First thing you thought of.
My mom telling me about the smelly hippies that live in the trees. Well, she didn't say smelly, but she told me that you lived on the earth, and there's no showers and trees. So I just kind of put two and two together.
Common sense.
Turtles! Oh,
Little baby
wow.
turtles.
Yeah, that's against all odds. It's like the
Yes.
life, the struggle of baby
Yeah.
sea turtles,
Is that like shooting stars?
Uh-huh. I
so
just
cool.
amped it up a little bit.
Right, yeah. So they really have to avoid, the raining rocks. Uh-huh. So that must have happened when the dinosaurs were getting killed. The turtles were like, we gotta get into the water, guys. Meteorites are coming.
Happy?
That's cool.
Sharks. That one's really cool.
That's great. My wife would love that one.
It's for sale, right?
That one's so...
Oh, look, it says it right there.
Of course it is.
So
Anything I like, it's already gone. I'm not gonna express my like for any of these anymore. I'm just gonna be like,
know,
I'm gonna pay for
you
that
might
one.
come across one. You might come across one. I'll be like, oh yeah, I got that in my car. I just ran it over. You can totally have it.
How often do you typically
That one's awesome.
paint?
All right. I used to paint every day, like every night till 12, 3 a.m. sort of thing.
Really?
And recently I have not been painting because I'm not really on vacation. I'm more of on like a marketing, like networking adventure here in Florida.
Nice.
So I haven't really painted much at all. And it's weird because I feel like a part of me has been silenced, a part of me has been dulled. So,
But this other thing that you're doing, the marketing aspect of it, is just as important because you're getting the word out about what it is that you do. And, like, why do you do art? Is it just a you thing, or is it?
I believe it's my calling. And you know what? Like, I love your guys' faces as you look at these paintings because I know they're smiles and I know you're happy, So, like, I feel like that's my calling to do. And that's what I'm good at, really. Like, okay, I'm good at the office jobs too, but it doesn't make me happy.
Doing,
it doesn't make me
Right.
happy. So
that must be a cool thing about your art. I didn't even think about that. It's like the happiness that you're providing other people just by something that you created because it made you happy. I mean, it's kind of like sharing the love in a sense.
yeah, it's like hitting that higher note. It's hitting that like eternal river that just flows around all of us, flows around the whole world that you can like dive into or you can stand back and watch.
Is that your goal when you're doing this, when you're painting?
Oh, I'm swimming in it. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
It kind of reminds me of like a the Dr. Seuss, the trees. What do they call those?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Anybody?
I'm not sure.
You know Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just
The truffle trees. The truffle trees. You know what I'm trying to say?
from
You know Dr.
Lorax.
Seuss?
I was
from
not
Lorax.
allowed.
That's kind of.
You said you were not allowed?
Dr. Seuss growing up.
Wait,
no.
Wait, what?
Yes. I mean, Berenstain Bears all the way, but Dr. Seuss, no.
Why weren't you allowed?
I don't know. I cannot give you
Were
an answer to
rhymes
that.
not allowed in your family?
It wasn't like that. We also, like my
Eggs and
grandma my grandma also told me that yellow Gatorade was caterpillar pee, so we were not allowed yellow Gatorade. I mean, there's like
Was
weird
it caterpillar
reasons.
pee?
I believed her, like,
Yeah, that's a lot of pee. That
yeah. My brother told me that sausage was rabbit turds. Like, there's
Are there any artists in your family or any creative?
there's a lot of musicians.
A lot of musicians.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't know
The
of any.
creativity.
I have a
Yeah.
huge family. I don't know of any other visual artists. I'm absolutely the black sheep,
Really?
100%. And I'm also the sweet one. So
Okay. So how was that growing up, like doing art? And I guess, did you feel like you were understood by your parents, or?
my mom, yeah, my dad, no. And it's because he's an engineer and he wants me,
Right.
he's
That
yeah.
analytical mind. Yeah, you gotta do something to pay the bills, and
Yeah,
you
make
can't
sure your
do that
bills are
with
paid
art.
first,
Yeah.
sort of thing. And it makes sense. Like, I totally understand his point of view, but like, you haven't seen mine yet, like, you haven't stood on that cliff yet to understand my point of view. So,
Here's a question: How does your dad feel about your art? He obviously, I mean, you're making a living doing it, So like, that's what he was really happy about wanting to do. Like, how does he feel about the art that you're creating?
well, he's purchased pieces before. He actually like showed up at a gallery I was having in St. Pete and surprised
Did you invite
me.
him? Or was
He
it a
surprised
surprise?
me.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, I cried a little bit.
Aw.
Like really, really like Dad, But But other than that, it's always been like, do that on the weekends sort of thing, you know? And I was like,
Typical dad stuff.
yeah.
But your mom was really supportive?
Yes, she actually like got me and took me down to Ringling and actually helped me understand like what a studio would be, because like in high school they didn't really tell you. So she actually did a lot of that. She was a hippie and my dad was an engineer. So like I'm a mix between the two.
How did they meet then? Like,
love conquers all, bro.
yeah, but you got to go to Woodstock to find it at least.
I'll be there.
Yeah, you gotta go somewhere.
You got to go somewhere to find it. That's cool.
Yeah.
So your mom was very supportive. Your dad was more, you know.
He saw me doing good at the office jobs, and he's like, "Go do that. What are you doing?" You know, like. And my mom was like, "Well, you know, if that's what you want to do, then just go do it." So I like kind of did both for a while, and then after, you know, eventually I was like, "That's it, full artist." And even in California, like when I'm up there farming and trimming and everything, like another thing I do is I do consultative work for the farmers. So I'll go in and I'll be like, what are your profits and losses? Where's your waste? Let me see your side product. And I'll be able to save them money, and I'll be able to give them ideas, and I'll be able to implement new protocols that, you know, help the farms, and they don't see it coming sort of thing, but I actually do get paid for that. And I have a reputation for that.
You have like, you're kind of accessing both sides of the brain. Smart. Yeah, like you're actually intelligent and know how to navigate, I guess, the real world side of things, like the systematic side of things, but can also create things like this. And this is where you're really, you know, where you really shine. Like, that's an advantage. I'm guessing your dad didn't see that balance.
Well, he is of the generation that isn't really welcoming, you know, the transition to cannabis as like a legal thing. So he's really fighting that, and he doesn't really understand. Like, I'm like, Dad, I want to build machines, not, you know, sell it. Like, I want to implement ideas and patent and not like do anything bad, you know? Like, I'm a good girl. So
he's very old school then.
He's super old school, and I love him for it. I respect him for it. I actually can like bounce off of that, you know? And,
That's great. Do you have any siblings?
I have an older brother, and he's awesome, and his wife and his niece, and they totally support me. They totally love the art. They're just
awesome.
like,
what does he do?
He installs air conditioning units, and my sister-in-law, she does work from home, and my niece is just full-time awesome.
Yeah.
Full-time awesome.
Excellent.
That's awesome. So, I mean, before we go, what is something that you want to leave people with? If you had any advice to give any creative individuals out there, because as we all know, we struggle with a lot of things, being creative and being looked as, you know, whether our art is worthy or validated, right? Instead of going and getting a regular job, and you know, as you know, what is some advice that you would give someone who is pursuing a creative role?
I don't have any advice. I have a challenge, and
even better.
I challenge them to be brave. And simple as that, take it. It's so raw and it's so fundamental that you can take it in any direction that you want. It applies to every single art form. Be brave. I'm here. I'm being brave right now.
That's amazing. Well,
I like it. Cool.
You heard it. She's living it right now. She's making a living off of it. This is what she loves. And people obviously love what she does. So thank you so much for being here. Where can we find you before we go?
Oh, right.
Where are your social media?
Facebook page or
Facebook, Instagram, any of that Sweet Colene art.
What's your handle? What is it?
Sweet Colene art. And it's Colene. It's not normally.
Well, thank you so much for being here. You were an amazing guest.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you to everyone here as well. And we'll see you next time, guys. All right. Peace.
Bye.